Yes, you know what? Flexible to. Rene J, ang hirap i-ban out kasi so, again, the hero pool is just right there.
Yeah, I mean, major love as well to the rest of our fans. And just like what you guys were mentioning, kadalasan, di ba, nakikita natin yung Zask and yung Hylos in opposite sides. What does this mean for Aurora in this scenario that they've had those two picks in the first round?
I mean, for sure, Smart Omega dito mahihirapan sila. Especially the Harit.
Grabe
Kasi
naman.
Zask, sana all.
Grabe naman.
Yan, boss. Grabe ba?
Mega collector.
Zask, Zask was previously considered as one of the good laners against Harith. Kasi ang hirap mag-Zaman Force sa ilalim ng uhod, actually. Pero ano naman, ang kinaganda naman dito ng Smart Omega is again, may copy sila ng Glorious Pathway. Meron silang bypass basically doon sa vicinity ng Zask. Ang kailangan talaga ng intindihin dito ng Smart Omega is yung potential switch up between the Hylos pick and also kung mapupunta to sa kamay ni Rene J and also the jungle and gold lane flex kasi hindi nila alam kung ano pang role ni Roger at this point.
Yeah, for the Zaz, I guess don't have to worry too much kasi like game number 1, we saw Nolan stare through the Nightmare Spawn, the Dominator's descent here of the Zaz. So again, as much as magandang counter nga yung Zaz against like Zaman Force, there's ways to deal with it right now.
Yeah, pinakita nyo rin sa atin. Sinabi nyo rin to kanina na posibleng magkaubusan na in terms of the roaming position para sa dalawang teams sa second phase ng ating banning stage. You have the Kaja for Omega. You have the Tigreal for Aurora. Hylos para sa Auroras could possibly go into the roam position. At least meron na silang nakuha. But if you are Chaknu, right, inuubusan ka na paunti-unti at medyo sprinkle lang yung glue nakuha dito ng Aurora. Something that we don't usually see.
I mean, it's a good matchup against Hylos. It also works well against the Zask. So, and also Ryota is a glue specialist. So, ayaw lang ng Aurora makita yung hero niyan sa XP. Lalo na't wala naman sila magagawa kasi 2 picks yung Smart Omega. But one thing is concerning me here for Aurora is kapag nag-double marksman sila dito or just even the Roger, kapag nakuha ng Smart Omega yung Lolita, I think it's a viable choice. It's nice against this lineup even though may Hylos yung Aurora dito. But the re-engage factor is definitely a plus, a big plus para sa Smart Omega. I think it's gonna be a Lolita pick. Either Lolita or, honestly, a Minotaur for Chaknu.
Actually, it's good. Pretty good, right? I think you want to limit the sets. You already know that you can set with the Jawhead. So that's out. I think Lolita set is underrated, number 1. Number 2, we're also looking for like really good flexibility. Healing, kailangan pa rin yun, di ba? So I think, yeah, Minotaur is actually one of the good picks for Chaknu.
Yeah, I mean, and it's up to Aurora now. Kung ilalagay ba nila yung Hylos in the XP lane and them to get another roamer para mas lalong ma-choke out yung pwesto nitong Chaknu.
Wala silang choice kasi parang kailangan nila i-reveal actually. There goes a Moscow. Okay, it's a Lolita time for Smart Omega. I don't think there's any other good choice here. Hindi naman walang magandang choice. It's just that Lolita fits so perfectly into this lineup of Smart Omega. May protection yung Harith, meron ka pang engage, meron ka pang counter engage. You don't mind playing into the Zask and even the double marksman setup of Aurora. Nagkaroon talaga ng flex problem dito yung Aurora kasi either kailangan nila i-reveal yung double marksman or i-reveal mo kung ano yung role ng Hylos, which sets up for a very good XP matchup for Smart Omega. So now I think you go for the safe route. That is the Lolita or even the Yuzong Lolita for Ryota. Actually, pwede nga rin yung Arlot. Pwede pa yung Arlot.
Honestly, for the XP, you're looking for people that can... Atoy are special, right? That's his special. And what is this? This is the Grok Mamba!
You guys were looking for this.
Screw Lolita, di ba? Go, Chak Mamba!
You guys were looking for this right from the start. Parang hindi natin nakita si Chaknu na gumamit ng Grok. I think this is already his 9th hero. I'm not entirely sure kung nakuha niya na ba to, but the Arlot is gonna be the final pick para sa kupunan ng Aurora. It could possibly go to Edward, but, Hylos and Arlot, posible pang magpalit yan if they want to.
Yeah, I mean, the expert pick was nice against the Hylos kung in XP ng Aurora. Now they flex it to Rene J. Hylos roam. Wouldn't really mind playing it to the export kasi nga meron ka Glorious Pathway. And yung matchup ngayon ni Edward is so much better. It's an Arlot versus an export. You have the ability to close the gap. And again, it's a good matchup against both Harith and Nolan.
And good chance na lilikodan lang din ni Edward tong Xborg na to. You don't face the Xborg head on. And again, they're gonna have to bypass each other, and then most likely, a lot of the clashes gonna happen around mid.
I feel like both of the teams got the comfort that they wanted. Now, it's gonna have to translate into execution. Smart Omega and Aurora, Game 3. Let's get it on.
Another great rivalry in the making between Omega and Aurora, as Omega manages to extend the series after a amazing play
Nail
from
biter.
the Chuck Mamba himself.
Nail biter is how that last game went. This series alone has been phenomenal. A lot of early poke here already happening too, but yeah, we've had time to have a breather here, Ingan.
Honestly, regardless of the outcome, everyone won in this series, especially for game number 2. But right now, Renegade has the high loss. So this is going to be crucial because this was the game-winning pick for Omega during game number 2.
Yep.
And on the other hand, the captain himself going back to his roots with one of his signature picks, the Grok.
Yeah, this is the, I don't know if, I would say like second signature, right? Behind the Kufra, I
Yeah,
would say.
of course.
The Grok Mamba is going to be playing this one. And I think you have to, if it's any other thing, to go against the Hylos, a hero that has been making waves through the meta just globally. What better way to do it than Chaknu getting the Grok out for this game? And so with that, again, you're looking to set things up, whether that's through the Glorious Pathway, and you got to kind of see how that all unfolds through the game here. And I think like the panelists said too, Ryota is going to play a part in that because you're trying to fight into that Zaman Force setup even and into that Glorious Pathway. So Alas Insanity is great for that.
Yeah, Glorious Path. Oh yeah. The combination of skills coming in from Omega is just really immense. And now looking at the gold lane matchup, Doming not having a hard time up against Jom. Surprisingly, this is a Harith. Wow. And on the other hand, Turtle has spawned in the bottom lane. This time, Omega starting things off.
All right, really quickly too, wow. Okay, I think they're just gonna go ahead and grab that, and Doru gets the first objective here.
Okay.
Nothing they could really do about that. That was just such a decisive decision.
Yeah, and compared to game number 2, this is actually a better start for Andoryu. If we can recall correctly, he was taken down 2 minutes,
blood.
3 minutes in, first blood. So now Andoryu has the flexibility of actually overextending, especially in the mid, to get those pickoffs that he wants, especially onto Yue or onto Demon Kite.
You can feel the Domain knows, right? There's something possibly happen up here too, and that's the thing. Chaknu's going to be everywhere, especially on the Grok. And I think when you see this matchup so much, the Mozcom versus the Harith, they both shine in different ways throughout the course of the game. The parent thing is obviously, we've been talking about it all the time, but Mozcom with the Spirit of Destruction, you can continue to push in the side lanes and then join the fight.
Yeah, but
as long as you land it, right?
But for me, honestly, I feel like the
What do you like better?
Omega timers this time for me is early game to mid game.
Early game to mid?
Because late game, I'm really leaning towards Aurora.
Okay, you like the lineup more for Aurora here late game? I would say, you know, in this case, if Smart Omega gets an early lead, that's great for them. They scale up pretty quickly, like you mentioned.
Yeah.
Especially when you have this pressure in the mid lane. Quick usage. Dominator's Descent already going to be used, so they get that out. That's a major thing out for Yue.
That's a good fracture play here from Andoryu, baiting out the Dominator's Descent, especially in 30 seconds. A Turtle will spawn again. A while ago, we've seen Aurora just give it up. No trades, no cross-map plays happening here, but that's you can actually expect that because you really have to wait for Demon Kite and Moscow to really get into their groove.
Edwards here. He's going to get knocked up with the wild charge. There's the Glorious Pathway being laid down too. They try to disengage, but
Ryota!
they get the flicker out from Ryota with the last Insanity. Going to be able to pick up Edward and now Renegade front of it all, but they just call it off. They already lost one. Smart Omega slowly building the lead they've got, and now Turtle's up.
You expect this from Omega's lineup. It's a really dive-centric lineup. You have the Xborg, you have the Nolan, plus the Grok, and their power spike is really early towards the mid-game. And this is the danger because Omega, once they reach the middle lane, once they reach the mid-game, if they don't get those neutral objectives, especially the Lord, Aurora can really bounce back. They can really manage the waves clearly with the Moscov's presence here. So for me, the timer, the pressure is still on Aurora's side despite having a 2K gold lead.
Whoa, Chaknu just gonna get punished here. All right, we got to take a breather. Demon Kite gets gets the kill there, but man, again, you know, you're talking about timers here and everything else, Ingan, but so far this early game, I know it's been 2 objectives in the hands of Smart Omega, but yeah, I don't know. I think if we get to the late game, it really could be a shining or a moment for Aurora's lineup to make it work.
I honestly got shocked that Demon Kai was able to answer back right away.
Yeah.
Because I was honestly expecting them to wait it out, make sure to get those. Make sure to get the economy as much as possible balanced. But as we head on to a technical pause, we can see a lot of fans here. Jam-packed day once again for week number 2, Naisu.
Yeah, of course, all in good spirits here. Great series, great star match that we have for the week. You know, and we get a quick timer up here, 1 minute. We're hoping, we're hoping it's 1 minute. That was a quick punishment from Aurora. I mean, it's even across the board in terms of kills. But Smart Omega so far has controlled a lot of the objective game in this early portion of the game, and that's what matters here. And if they continue that way, if Aurora doesn't answer to that, they're going to have some troubles here.
Yeah, it's really the Chakmo effect. Him having the Grok, making sure that he provides a lot of information and vision for his team. But on the other hand, look at this, Renegade still has the high loss.
Wow.
Oh. You can really feel the damage coming in from Ryota and Oki. Again, that's a high loss, but a high HP. But still 50% after just a couple of pokes coming in from Omega.
On this top side, Edward going to force Jome off. Look how many bodies are uphill. Conceal going to be used. Chaknu won't find the connection, but they force the fight anyway. But they don't have the minion waves pushing in. The rest of the team making its way up top. Luckily for Aurora, no one goes down in the exchange.
An off-angle wild charge, because Chaknu was really predicting that both of those players from Aurora were going to go back. But then those 2 players actually predicted what Chaknu was supposed to do.
It's a mind game.
It's a mind game. It's a chess game between these 2 teams. And finally, the last turtle up for grabs has just spawned. A while ago, Omega picked up 2 turtles uncontested without any trade coming in from Aurora. And this time, Aurora's 4-man lineup is here. The crucial factor for this last clash, or last turtle clash, would be the Spear of Destruction coming in from Doming. Will it hit this time?
Okay, they started up doing it quickly as they have in the past. I think they're going to be a little bit too late to the party as Endoru secures the 3rd turtle. Already clean sweep in the turtle department for Smart Omega.
That's another barangay surprise special. They're not going to wait for the dances anymore. They're just really going to burst down the turtle, not let Aurora get some momentum to counterattack.
You know what I say? This is what Smart Omega has to do. They have to be decisive. They have to make these choices.
Full commit.
And commit, yeah, full send it. So objectively, that's what they did. And now Renegade going to the front side, dropping the Goya's pathway. There's the setup already, though. Zaman force being dropped down, too. He's going to get stunned. Demon Kai looking on Jome, but Renegade goes up on the top side. 2 Dominators descends to firing off each other. Ukir gets punished. And now Aurora possibly looking for more as Demon Kai's going to work on Ryota. They get 3 big kills in the pockets of Aurora.
Aurora doesn't care about the turtle. You got 3 turtles, we'll get 3 kills to our name. Jome, Uki, Ryota will fall down. And we have to credit a lot actually to Renegade, because Renegade was soaking up the bulk of the damage coming in from Omega. So a lot of the skills are expended onto this high loss, which enabled the damage dealers of Aurora to just really free hit and take down Omega.
Yeah, it's, again, some people wonder, like, how do you deal with his ask? Well, maybe you just take the Valentina and you get 2. You know, you have 2 Dominators, in a sense, working at each other and firing off. But again, like you mentioned, man, that was great positioning coming out from Renegade. Even Edward utilizing the final slash there. So what's the response? Gold lead is gone. Now Renegade has to defensively get out of there. Way's going to be blocked off, though, of course, by Chaknu, so they set back in to their position here with the focus on the mid.
I'm not sure if you noticed it, but Renegade actually was right there on time, because Andoryu casted his Retribution, so the slow effect went to Renegade instead of going to Doming. So again, Renegade being the hitman and the healman at the same time for game number 3.
At this point, too, Yue picking up his Divine Glaive. This is great timing. You can see on the flip side, Endoru gets the Sky Piercer too, and this all sets the stage here, on for that first big objective. Aurora has seen 3 turtles taken quickly from them, very quickly. And now they don't want the same to happen with the Lord here.
Oh, Andoryu not in a good position here because they're going to be spotted out here by Aurora. And as Andoryu picks up a Sky Piercer, you know, it adds pressure for me as an assassin. If I pick up a Sky Piercer, that means I have to get a lot of kills and at the same time don't get killed myself. And with Omega's lineup, you know there's already an internal pressure because they're going to dominate the early and the mid game, but towards the late game, it might be Aurora's game. So really, the pressure for me is on the Barangay side.
Yeah, because at this point, with the lineup that they had, they could, you know, end up getting outscaled depending on how Aurora approaches this. Domeng gonna just wait patiently again. He kind of has an idea too.
He knows. He knows.
Dome, very patient. He's not approaching that wave there.
He knows.
He's fine.
Jome knows. They've been there. They've done that. And now Aurora working on this Lord as Andoryu and Ryota surveys the scene. But important to note, look at the position of Edward. Any given moment, the final slash can come out of nowhere.
Still keeping that Lord at half health here. They don't have the exact information, I feel like, up top. You know, Domeng's just kind of patiently waiting. He doesn't want to get picked off here. So we take another brief.
Shaknu and Jome on the top lane, making sure to zone out Domeng. Will Aurora burst down the Lord or will Omega make a play up top?
Let's see what they do. They're still waiting patiently up there. Domeng just going to do his thing, waiting on the front side. Neither team really wanting to commit to the Lord, though, and that's the power of this export, too. You know, you have the immortality, you got plenty of armor. You can just kind of sit here for quite a while, too.
We need a mini cam onto what's happening onto the top lane.
Oh.
Right now, Red J soaking up all the damage coming in from Omega, but I think they're going to burst down Ryota's Friarga armor here.
It's bursted down, they rotate down. Even with the armor down, it still could be the same plan. They might just go for it. Renegade is going to drop down the Glorious Pathway. Ukir does the same, and they try to collapse down on the top side. Jome going to force in. That's destruction. A huge final slash, though. Are going to be used. It forces Smart Mega back to the turret. I'm not sure if they can pick up a kill with it, but they will as Domeng cleans up Ryota. But now, RORA will get the turret. Can they get this Lord? There's going to be some repositioning here going on. Shaknu does not have the wild charge. He's just trying to provide vision, but I think it's just taken here by Aurora. And Doru also trying to pull something, but he's got to back off.
Wow. Legend Zero bouncing back from a very rough game back in game number 2 with the Terizla. A lot of people are saying that the penalty zones weren't hitting, but this time one final slash connecting onto 5 members.
Yep.
That's the Edward you want. That's the Edward you need if you're up against the top-seeded team as we end week number 2 rather. This is vintage Edward, really controlling the game, controlling the pace, and setting up plays for his team.
He has to, especially after the struggle we saw from the previous game.
Oh, sandwich play.
Look at this sandwich play on the top side already, and Doru taken out. As Demon Kite gets another kill alongside the turret. I still focused here in the mid lane.
Oh.
They've got the Lord to work with too. Another quick turret. Domeng just destroying these things. And now with a switch in momentum, Edward picking up the Winter's Crown as well. Renegade getting a little more defense. They're in prime territory to punch this one into the base at least.
Oh.
Dominator's Ascent going to be used as well. Glorious Pathway there. Lord still going to be worked on. Mid turret quickly worked on by Domeng. RORA, can they end this here in game number 3?
Domeng!
Edward gets a final slash.